Most people never notice snails. They pass by them, step around them, see them as background, slow to and quiet, unimportant. But hidden inside this tiny animal is one of nature's strangest feeding systems. And once you understand how a snail eats, you may never look at one the same way again. At first, it almost looks like nothing is happening. No chewing, no visible bites, no dramatic movement, just a slow animal sitting on food. But that stillness is misleading, because right now, an entire feeding process is already underway. The snail is not inactive. It is working quietly, precisely, patiently. Unlike humans, snails do not eat using jaws that bite pieces away. Instead, many snails feed using something extraordinary, a structure called the radula. Think of it like a moving ribbon. Now imagine covering that ribbon with thousands of microscopic teeth. Not teeth like a shark, not teeth like a dog. Tiny scraping structures built for one purpose, removing food a little at a time. The radula moves back and forth, scrape, pull, over and over. Each movement removes an incredibly small amount, so small you rarely notice it in real time. But nature does not always rely on power. Sometimes it relies on repetition, and repetition changes everything. But eating is not just about the mouth. Even getting to food takes work. Watch carefully. The body underneath the shell, that wide, soft surface, is called the foot. It moves in tiny waves. The snail doesn't walk. It glides. A thin layer of mucus reduces friction, allowing movement across rough surfaces. Slow, but efficient. Every movement costs energy, and snails waste very little. That may be one reason snails survive in so many places. Gardens, forests, walls, farms. They do not rush, they conserve. And that same philosophy appears in how they eat. No sudden attacks, no overeating, and just steady progress. Now look again. Notice something. The snail feeds, then pauses. Feeds, then pauses again. That is normal. Feeding is only one part of the process. Digestion matters too. Food must move through the body. Nutrients absorb. Water balance changes. Energy gets stored. So while it may look like resting, the body is still busy. There is something strangely efficient about it. No panic, no competition, no hurry, only enough movement to continue. And food itself changes the experience. Soft foods are easier. Moist foods are often easier. Texture matters. Water matters. Surface matters. What looks like one simple meal is actually an interaction between an animal and the physical structure of what it eats. A dry surface may be approached differently. A soft surface may disappear faster. Every feeding event is a conversation between body and environment. Humans often associate speed with success. Fast cars, fast internet, fast growth, but snails operate under a different rule. Consistency, small effort, repeated, again and again, until change appears. That is why watching a snail can feel strange. Nothing seems to happen, until suddenly you realize something is gone. And maybe that is what makes these animals so fascinating. Not because they are fast, not because they are powerful, but because they prove another way to survive exists. Move slowly. Waste little. Continue anyway. Thousands of tiny movements, thousands of invisible decisions. One quiet meal and one animal doing exactly what it has done for millions of years. Slowly, patiently, one scrape at a time. Thousands of tiny movements, thousands of invisible decisions. One quiet meal and one animal doing exactly what it has done for millions of years. Slowly, patiently, one scrape at a time.
Okay.